to the Video Games and Nonsense podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chase Carter, and to my left
Raymond Woods.
is Raymond Woods, and this is a podcast where we talk about video games and nonsense and things we've been playing lately. So, Ray, what have you been playing lately?
Not much really. Me and Dylan, we've been meaning to play more VR in the game Onward, but we just haven't really been because I was at your place this weekend. I have been playing my PC a little bit more because ever since I got the Series X, I'm like, yeah, because there's a lot of people who just they're like, there's no point in getting a PC still more advanced, but there are.
Well, that's why I always wondered why you got the Series X. I was like, you have a PC that plays all the Xbox games. If you were going to get a console, it would be the PlayStation. Well, of course, they're so rare, but still.
Yeah, the thing is, PlayStation 5, I mean, obviously I want to get one, but I mean, there's really nothing I play on PlayStation 5 right now. And plus, because the reason why I got a Series X is because Dylan still, there are a lot of games that aren't cross-platform at the moment. When you do play cross-platform on PC, you usually end up playing with PC players, and it is definitely harder for.
Okay,
Xbox
so you're on Xbox because your buddies we're all on Xbox. Okay.
Now, if they because Dylan, he does have a PC, but he's a little bitch and he doesn't want to make the full transition over to PC.
Okay, doesn't have to. He can be on his Xbox S, his Xbox X, the little white one, or
the Xbox One S.
Yeah.
No, he's got the Gears of War edition of it. That
Ooh.
one's old, man. That one's really old.
The S isn't that old. It's 5 years old. I think 4 or 5 years old.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why he hasn't got like the X, or he's just maybe saving up for the series.
Yeah, I think. Well, he's going on a trip in February to Florida with his brother, which is going to cost like $500-$600. I don't know.
No, okay. Priorities. And priority should be to get the best video game console and then go on vacation. Obviously.
That's what I would do. I'd be like, I'm not going to Florida. I'm going to get the Series X.
I would get like, I don't care about Florida. What's in Florida that I can't see here? Nothing. Beaches still here.
They do have Disney World there in Florida.
Corey just came back, my girlfriend. She went to Disney World, and then when she came back, she said, I'm never going to an amusement park again in my life. And I'm just like, I'm thinking in my head, because I've been to Disneyland, Disney World is supposed to be better rides, more. Well, I've never been, so I don't know. I can't. I can't.
Disney World is 5 stadiums.
Stadiums?
Yes.
What do you mean? You mean theme parks?
No. They're all stadium, theme park, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, they're all. Well, that's what I was, because I went as a kid, and that's how they kind of described it.
Oh, they called each place like a stadium?
Theme park stadiums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stadium is me is like a football stadium or a basketball stadium. I'm sure they have stadiums there. I mean, that's where the NBA went to Disney World to play basketball during the last playoffs for the whole lock.
And never going to a theme park she can go to Knott's Berry Farm. Okay, they have great rides there, so she can just.
Well, she just like didn't like walking around and waiting in lines, and I'm like, what did you think a theme park is? They're not. I don't understand. Yeah, she complained about not having a childhood, and then when she did she's doing all these things that.
I don't like waiting.
Yeah, and I'm just like, she's acting like a child would at an amusement park, but it's just kind of entertaining to see her. I'm going to Disney World with my dad and my family out in Florida, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, we did so much walking. I'm never doing it again.
One thing too, though, it's different if you go with a lot of people. If like, say like just us three went, I guarantee you, if we went to like Knott's Berry Farm, just us three, guarantee she'd have a better time. I wouldn't
go with her. I'd go with you. It'd just be me and you. First of all, okay. I'm not going to go. And she's not going to get any of the rides. She's like, what's that from? I'm like, that's Dumbo. That's Dumbo, you idiot. What's Dumbo?
Yeah, but yeah, it's I cannot stand going in big groups to theme parks. If someone's going and they're like, I'm like, how many people are going? Oh, like 5. No, I'm not. I don't want to go
because there's too many people with their like different agendas and like they want to go do stuff, and it's just.
And I'm like,
unless you're one of those people that just like you're like, I'm not going to see anything that I want to go see, and then just follow and have fun or whatever. But
Yeah, no, there's things that I like. I try to get there early, okay, when everything opens, and then you know you gotta if you when you have so many people together, you know, no one's on, no one's there at the same fucking time, so you gotta wait, you know, an hour, and then already everyone's in the damn park, and I'm just sitting there.
it's true. Did
There's
you
always
go? Did you
what?
go? We all went to I think Universal Studios for it was back when we all worked at Game Crazy and Hollywood Video. Do you remember that? I don't know if you were there at the time.
I don't think I was there
We
at the
all went,
time.
and it was a really good trip. It was the rare occasion where I went.
One of
There was like 10 or 15 of us, and we all went.
well, there are also really hot girls too, so.
I mean, but and one of them was cold. She didn't bring a jacket, and then
She's gonna no.
I had my jacket, and then people were like, everyone, all of one of the guys, like I wasn't with her or anything, and then so she would. One of the girls leans into me. He's like, "You should give blah 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 your jacket." I'm like, she should have. She's or blah 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 is cold. I was like, she should have brought a jacket. I have a jacket. I'm an adult. She's an adult. She should have brought
Yeah,
a jacket.
she's
Just
not
because
my
she's
girlfriend.
yeah. I was like, no. I
No,
mean,
no.
she's friendly. She's a friend. But
Why do I have to be cold?
yeah,
Because she's an idiot and didn't bring.
no. I was for equal rights back then. This was 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was for equal
That's
rights.
equal.
That's it. That is. But she, what was the Disneyland, Disney World? But what about, have you ever been to any other big amusement parks, besides Disneyland, Disney World, Universal Studios? Have you been there
Yeah,
before?
no, yeah, I've been to Universal Studios. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
they're pretty good. I went there, especially for like Universal Horror Nights, which is really really cool.
Those
That
are always
stuff's
pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then obviously not Scary Farm. Man, it was really disappointing, man. Hopefully this year to be open because that was like a whole like even though you know me and Danielle like that was well even before Danielle I would go every single year. It was like kind of like a I guess you could say I made it a tradition. That sounds stupid, but
Tradition. How many years you do it? Just once?
no.
No.
I did when even when I was with Michelle in high school. We went every year and but well not every single year because I you know I was in high school. I didn't really have any money back then,
Hmm.
but even then, yeah, I mean, I just I love the kind of scary ambience kind of stuff, like you know, like everyone does,
Yeah,
which is weird. They
but you
did
don't like scary movies or games though. But you
no.
kind of, you
What are you
kind of do.
talking about?
You get
That's not me. That's
scared.
Dylan.
It's not
That's
you
Dylan.
don't turn it off, but you get frightened. You were even
I
talking about Dead Space freaking you out with Corey.
yeah. Like, is that game not scary? Is it not scary?
The way you described it seemed like you didn't enjoy at least the
No. I
comment
love that.
that
I love that game. I
okay
love those games.
at
I
least the
love
way
those
you
games.
commented it seemed like you were agreeing with her because I was making fun of her for turning the game off.
No, I understand why someone. The only reason why I understand is because she doesn't play video games, so she doesn't. You know,
But she watches
like
movies, but I don't. But she
well,
doesn't watch horror movies though. Is the thing.
there is a difference between watching and interacting.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
no, the thing, like the one game that I can't play, and I understand what you're saying. The one game that I can't play is Alien Isolation. I can't play the game. It's too scary. I'm like, I can't play this. I have a nervous breakdown.
I saw him play the game. I want to play. I think it's on. Is it on Game Pass?
I
I
think it is. Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, that game is so scary, man. It's just they did such a good job of just the ambience and just in like you know like everything is desolate.
It
It should
seems
be
good. It seems good. I remember watching a developmental diary on
yeah
it, and they said they couldn't get the alien right. I think I told you before, just in random
yeah
conversation, and they said when they made the alien AI guess wrong, like where you are, and that's when it kind of clicked, and it started to feel like an alien
yeah
creature
because
or whatever. I
yeah
was like, well, then how did you do it before? How did you program the alien just guessed
maybe the
right every single
testers.
time? I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe it was just maybe they yeah something or maybe it just, I don't know. Maybe it just took maybe what it was is it wandered around for a certain amount of time and
Yeah,
then
there's
it
so
found
many
you.
hiding spots you can have, and then it would
Yeah.
just like 25% here, 10% here or whatever. I have no idea how you would break that down. But it was just interesting listening to him talk. He's like, yeah, until we added the feature where the alien could guess wrong. I'm like, so he could guess right every time. He knew exactly where you were. But I still got to play that game. But there's too many games to play. I'm probably never
No. Don't play the game. Play Control. And
play.
you still didn't play it while I was there. You
I
big jerk.
I got it. Well, I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock. I was with me. We all had In and Out, and I fell into a coma the first night. And then the second night we go out, have a few drinks, come home, and then I just see the bed and I just want to fall asleep. And then of course I wake up at midnight and I watch a few shows and go back to sleep. Which doesn't make any sense. But you got to watch. This is one of my recommendations because it deals with politics and all this other stuff too. And it's an older TV Newsroom.
Okay.
It's good writing, good stories. It's in a box. Olivia Munn is in it. It's one of her like breakout things. So you can. It's a good show. It's good. It's got Jeff Goldblum, I think, in it. Not Jeff Goldblum. What's his name? The guy who was in Dumb and Dumber. The other guy. Not Jim Carrey, but
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels. Yes. I knew it was a Jeff. But great show. Please. That's the only show I'm going to recommend. Oh, and then I think I told you before, but you never got your parents to watch it. Tom Papa, the stand-up comedian.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's because you said he's like clean and all that. He's like
Like it's very family friendly, but an actual good comedian as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that because it is possible to do that.
It's more difficult though to be like a clean comic that.
So that means that going. He's actually funny.
Yeah, legitimately funny. Yeah, and that's why I always liked Nate Bargatze. You can show him to your family, and kids can listen to it and all that stuff, and it's still hilarious. I want to talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There was two things I wanted to talk about. There was some side mission. It's like these priests were outside praying, and they were speaking about a beast inside. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so I go in and check out for the beast. You go in and realize it's a man and a bear, and the man can speak to the animals, and he just wants to be left alone. So he tells you to go out and he's like, I don't want violence. Because you have the option to fight the man and the bear for no reason. You have the option to do that, just to kill him.
Is it a white bear?
No, it's a brown bear, I think.
Okay.
So this guy's what's the term? You can talk to animals, I guess, and kind of control them. You can fight the man and the bear, or you can try to get the priest out. But the man, he says, no violence. I don't want you to take care of him, because your character says, yeah, I'll take care of him. He's like, yeah, but no bloodshed or whatever. So you go outside. The only option is to kill one of the priests. You can't talk to him. You can't interact. You can't do it. The only thing you can do is assassinate. I unequipped everything.
Yeah. And
still walked up to him. There's no punch. There's no Spartan kick. There's nothing. And so I assassinated him, and I came back and told him what happened. And then he was like, yeah, it's just gonna fuel them more. They're gonna find me eventually, because like you kill one of them and then like the other 10 disperse, mm-hmm. and they run away. And there's like, hey, you're free to go. They're not out there anymore. It's like, what'd you do? Well, I had to kill him. I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I did. What? You didn't give me an option. Really? You didn't tell me you didn't have an option to get rid of him with dialogue. Maybe just beat him up, like smack him around a little bit, and then he runs up. Nothing.
That is weird how a game full of choice.
Yeah, supposedly it doesn't give me. It gave me zero choice. I don't know.
No, you got to kill him. Maybe
they just threw that in. I don't know if you run into him later.
Maybe they just, I don't know.
Because maybe
some of these side missions.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just to me, when you make a game, you put all that effort into making it that big and huge. If you're going to put that effort into making the land expansive and blah, 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 why wouldn't you do that for the missions? Because it doesn't seem like, at least as far as your choice, like if they're not going to have, if they're going to have a mission that's based off of choice, like, hey, don't kill that guy, and then not give you a choice to not kill him, it just seems like a waste of time to me anyway. So that was I was just, and then there's no, I can see maybe you trying to talk to him with dialogue, and then he gets mad and attacks you, and you have to kill him or something like that. But then you didn't even have to do that in Odyssey. You could beat. That's what I don't understand. I don't get, because in Odyssey it was cool that
there were a bunch of different choices. Actually affected. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have my weapons equipped, and then I can switch to a loadout that has just my fist if I didn't want to hurt anybody. And I like that it was a very, very small, and they didn't even tell you about it. It was a small decision that they gave you, an option. And so when I'm fighting a soldier, and then civilians Just random NPCs that don't matter. I'm not talking about like stories and branching
Yeah.
dialogue trees or anything like that, but just the simple fact that I could um, beat up civilians that were caught up in a random brawl and just leave them on the ground alive still made me feel like, hey, I'm a good guy. I'm just fighting the bad soldiers. But instead, in
Yeah.
this one, you can't do that. If they get involved, then you have no other choice but to kill them. You have that arrow that puts them to sleep, but that only puts them to sleep for a few seconds, and they get right back up and start fighting again. So there's no maybe
It's weird how they steered away from that, and
I don't know if they
honestly.
steered away from. I just don't think there was a conscious choice. I don't think that the
Mm,
way I play is really a consequence to anyone's or is at the top of their list. Is like a highlighted topic
yeah.
or what or feature in the game. But I just feel that if you could, um, I don't know, make different choices, like the way you fight is a choice. So
Yeah.
and how you fight is a choice. So if you're fighting, if you want to be and then it's like in Red Dead, if you kill a civilian, your I don't know, your morality meter goes down,
Yeah.
and you become a bad guy, and they react to you a certain way. And so like I like games like that to where those choices, even if it's small little random NPC that doesn't technically matter, that
Yeah.
matters to your game, I guess. And then how you kill animals. If you're just a brute and go around shooting hundreds of animals, willy nilly. I love using that word for some reason. Willy nilly. That matters to how you play the game. Yeah, if you ethically kill the
Yeah. Yeah.
animal,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you get a morality meter because you essentially have to kill the animals. Like if you're if you're playing it as like a role playing thing, kill the animals, get the meat, get whatever. I like those choices, but as far as a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where you have all these, it seems not endless, but a bunch of choices, and then they take, especially in a mission, they take choice away from you, and then say like, and then act like you made that choice when you didn't make the choice. It just pulls you out. And like, why am I playing this game?
Yeah.
Why am I playing
Yeah.
it?
One thing I forgot to mention this. I wanted to tell you this a long time ago about Cyberpunk. Probably, I would say probably one of my, or well, I'd say probably my favorite thing in Cyberpunk. I feel like a real mercenary in that game.
Yeah,
When it comes to the side missions and like how they talk and like the words that they use and like how the missions are, like man, I gotta remember that game is really 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 good.
it is
I
really
gotta
good.
I gotta remember because I would literally like I've never played a game. I'll say this: I've never played a game where I do the side missions and I'm constantly excited. Like I want to find out what the next side mission is. You see what I'm saying? Like I've never
I
played a
heard the
game like
ones.
that.
I don't think I ever got to one with the question mark. I've seen them,
Yeah,
remember, but I only did a few main missions and then the I guess normal side missions, but then they have like more robust side missions with the question mark. You go there and you
yeah.
don't know what it is technically. But I always did low danger or medium danger side missions that were just kill this guy, this guy's going crazy, kill this guy. I just did those.
Well, yeah, the cyber psychos. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, those are like specific. Like those are specific missions where you have to kill a certain amount. You have to kill like 16 of them. It's like
Oh,
a whole mission. Yeah, it's
like
not just.
the question mark missions or whatever, the question mark side missions you're talking about.
Well, no, they're well, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
I know
because
what
I
you're talking
remember
about.
just
Like with
killing
the
one psycho. There was some the police had this alleyway blocked off, and then you had to sneak in to there, and then you go down obviously an alleyway a little bit, and this guy is you hear police chatter that he's backed himself into this, he's barricaded himself, and like there's this little square area he's back in, and then the ground's wet, the ground has
yeah.
water on it, and I think you probably did the same thing. Um, it has water leaking into it, and then the electricity's going off, and then I guess he has like an
Mm-hmm.
electric power that shocks everything, so you got to stay. And I figured that out after, like an idiot. But just those kind of missions that I've been doing. I really like that game, but a big part of me wants, like I said before, wants to wait for that Xbox. But
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to know, when is it coming out? This year, next year, 2 years
Yeah,
from now? Like when
I don't know.
exactly?
They haven't talked about it at all, which is I don't understand. I don't understand why that's something that should be like your goal or like one of your main goals is to talk about that.
Well, I don't
Which
understand. You have a PC version,
the
so
pro
it
the,
looks
what
great.
the reason well them not talking about it worries me because usually when developers are not talking about a specific thing like DLC or whatever, it means that it's not ready or close to being ready.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's close to being ready. I don't think I'm playing Cyberpunk for another year or something.
Yeah.
If I'm going to stick to this,
Hmm.
um, but there's other games that are coming out. I mean, there's that Medium game on Xbox Game Pass. I want to play. It's like a psycho, like not a psycho game, but like different realms. Have you seen that?
Oh, I think so. I think I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
and I got to
but
play.
well,
I
I
got to
mean,
play Control. I got there's
like I
tons
said,
of
man,
old games I got to play.
control, like I said, man. Once you, me personally, I think because you like the supernatural as well, I think you might be hooked on that game because it like
Hooked.
yeah, like that.
It's more of a linear game, right? It's more of a
No,
single player linear game, but
no,
it's not an open world game, is it?
no, it is.
It's
You,
not an open world. It's not an Assassin's
uh,
Creed big old open world game. If it
well,
is, I'm not playing it because I don't want to play another
no,
open world game.
it's not as obviously it's not as big as Assassin's Creed.
Is it like
You're
Batman where it's like corridor, but like in the, or
no.
Metroidvania?
I'm trying to explain it to you. Yeah, it has a
I want to cut you
Metroidvania.
off every time. No.
It has a Metroidvania to it, which is I think why I think that it just adds. But it's so you're in the Federal Bureau of Control, the building, but the building shifts.
What do you mean shifts? Like
I know. You're like, that's intriguing. No, it's but the building. It's there's so many different areas. It's huge.
okay,
But that's what ties into to the.
are you okay? Are
I really cannot wait for you
having
to
a
play that game.
sexual experience right now just talking about this game?
Just shut the hell up.
You're building it up a little too much because now my expectations are going to be too high.
No.
So when you
Just know that it's a really good game. That's it. That's what you gotta
okay,
do.
okay, well when you're sitting back going, oh, that's not a really good. That's an
Well,
unbelievable
it's
game.
because I'm thinking about certain
Parts that you liked and
parts.
freaked
Yeah.
out
So
about.
shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah, like you and your dad yelling in a movie theater, just
Like you don't like that. So be quiet.
being loud. Not like a little bit, but after like the 10th one, oh my god! I'm just sorry, sorry. We don't have movie theaters anymore, so that's not a
Yeah.
problem.
No. They took them away. Take them away. Can't we just social distance and have wear mask? No. I mean that makes sense, but no. Oh,
I,
okay.
I don't understand the conspiracy. The conspiracy theorists are like they're meaning to do this. They're trying to take away movie theaters, and I'm like, why would they? Do they not like movie theaters? Were there propaganda? Like all of the movies are more left leaning, like movies just in general. Like everyone's accepted. So why are they trying to get rid of movies? I don't. When people come up with these crazy conspiracy theories, they're going after restaurants. They don't want us to go. Why would they not want us to go eat? I don't understand. I just think that the restaurant people are the little guys that they can say, hey, we shut this place down. We tried to save lives. That's what I did during a pandemic. I tried. And it's just like, instead of
Well,
saying,
it's,
hey, we can't really do anything, we can't control everybody. So, hey, wear a mask if this is, and stay 6 feet apart. Those are our recommendations. If you don't want to do that, then this is the hospitals. Some of the hospitals are going to be filled and people are going to get more sick. More people are going to die.
well, no, there are places where they are literally turning their electricity off,
Well,
like
yeah,
in LA.
and I get that, but and obviously,
That's control. Like,
well, obviously that's wrong. But I'm saying, if they would have just came out and been honest,
well, of course.
instead of trying to, like Dr. Fauci lying about the masks because we need them for first responders, and it's like, dude, you can't. I understand your thought process, but you're controlling the country right now. You can't. You have to tell us the truth, and
It's
then hope, and then obviously there are going to be people who, there's going to be people who freak out regardless of what you say. Regardless of what you say,
yeah.
if you say the pandemic is not real, and people are going to freak out about that, and then people are going to freak out if you go crazy the other direction, where it's going to kill everybody, or if you go in the middle. There's going to be people who freak out. So just tell us the truth. Just tell us the truth. Hey,
Regardless of who freaks out.
yeah, regardless, it doesn't matter who freaks out. Tell us the truth. It doesn't. Truth.
Dude, you know what I love? It's so funny how like there's so many people that blame Trump for saying all this stuff about COVID. He's not been honest. He's not that. Blah, blah. I'm like, he's getting his information from Dr. Fauci, who hello? We've heard I've read articles with the CDC, the WHO, most of the liberal media where they all say, could you get the chances of you getting COVID is low. Could you die from COVID? Probably not. Like all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it became political, and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, you can." No one talks about that, but everyone Trump, he's a liar, he's this and that. And I'm like,
Well,
oh,
because that's just their enemy, and they're going to say anything to get him out.
of course. But
They're going to
you
say
understand
anything
what
they
I'm
want.
saying? Like, I'm just like, this is.
Well, like whatever side you on, the opposite guy is the villain, and just say that this guy lies, and then you see people on both sides when they're fighting to be the head candidate or whatever, like the Republican Party or the head of Democratic Party, like the main runner person. I don't know what you call them. I forget. When they're campaigning to be the main person, they're calling each other rapists and sex offenders and
Kamala Harris to Joe Biden.
and racists, and then like one person wins, and then all of those people attach themselves to that person and then
Yeah.
ride that rocket ship or wherever to the top or wherever they want to go. I'm just like, how are you? There's so many people who like were running against Trump and called him so much, and then as soon as he got the nomination, they all teamed up with him. And now that he's going away, in a I guess in a different fashion, that they're all like a lot of them are abandoning ship and like I'm like, but you're fine. You were fine disrespecting the person. You were fine hitching your wagon or whatever the fucking term is to him, and now you're just abandoning ship. So you're not loyal at all. I don't want you at representing any part of the United States of America. Like that is like you have your beliefs, and if you're running up against someone and you call them a sex offender and a racist, and then I don't want to work if I don't want to work for someone who I think is that. So why would I?
Man.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Honestly, you know what's funny?
You realize
too,
the whole thing's a game.
Yeah, it's funny too because after seeing that, like I've seen like a lot of people, not I won't say betray Trump, but like kind of lose loyalty. Honestly, I'm
And that's
leaning.
fine. And that's fine if you want to lose. If he does something that you disagree with, then that's completely okay. Like that's fine. Like there shouldn't be loyalty to him just because he's the president or whatever. If he actually does something that you disagree with, that's fine. But all these people abandoning ship like at the very last moment, like it seems a little suspicious.
Well,
They're trying to save like their political career, which I guess is a smart move. But I don't understand.
Well, but then you just see that it's all a charade.
It's all a game, and that's what I get upset about civilians, us, I guess, the people when they get so mad and they team up. My group against like these people will say anything to get elected to have that kind of power. Anything,
that's
anything
why
your group believes that's popular that will get them votes. If everyone was like a racist in the country, they will spout out racist rhetoric. That's how like it doesn't. If that was everybody in the country was like say white nationalists or whatever, all the politicians would be white nationalists because that's what would be to get elected. Whatever the beliefs are, the popular beliefs, like say there's a few of them, people are going to gravitate towards them so they can get elected. Usually.
And that's why for me I think after seeing all that stuff I'm leaning. I'm still more conservative, but I'm leaning towards more like maybe a centralist, not choosing Republican or Democrat.
No, because you see the bullshit on
I'm
both
just like,
sides. Like you
what
see,
the fuck are you doing? Like I agree more with Republican. Like I think as you would, because I know you said you're never voting Democrat, especially with how
the options like the Democrat like Tulsi Gabbard, hearing her talk and then
she was more the modest, yeah.
No, but actually making sense. Like when she speaks, when she's just like, "Hey, this is what I think it's crap that Harris locked up all of these people for
You're like, yes,
marijuana offenses," and then laughs about it on a podcast.
She
and
said that ruined her career. Now she's vice president.
Yeah, it didn't ruin her career at all. It didn't do anything. And people were like, "Oh, Tulsi took down Kamala." And it's just
you got to get it right, or you're racist.
I know. People are like, "No, it's not. It's just."
We don't know.
The only name I knew about that is Kamala. He was a wrestler, and that name is stuck in my head. So anytime I see K like AM anything, I'm like, oh, Kamala. But it was just it's just interesting seeing them all. Whether it's Democrats or Republicans, they all they lick their finger and they see which way the wind's blowing, and they go in that direction. And then I'm watching the newsroom, and what's cool about the newsroom is they take actual events. I think it's from like 2011, and it goes on for a few years. So any big event, Um, so they talk a lot about Obama, and they show actual news footage, and then they make a show about that. But like they're a news network that's not really like obviously a real news network.
Hmm.
Um, but they show all these Republicans at NRA conventions saying Obama's going to take away your guns. Obama's going to do that. You have to fight against them. They're going to every single whatever blah blah blah. And then so I guess there's this I didn't know there was a some political figure there was assassination attempt on his life, and I think he's paralyzed. And he runs he doesn't want guns in America at all. He doesn't want civilians to have guns, access to guns at all. He's extremely, I guess, I don't know if left leaning, because there's people on the left that like guns, but he's very anti-gun, and so he has these report cards, and he gives them out to politicians who are for guns and anti-guns, and then all of the gun laws that he talked about with Obama, he gave an F to. He's like, so in his head, Obama is for guns.
Mm.
And like this guy who is anti-gun put out all these things where Obama basically put into legislations like to keep the gun laws kind of where they're at. And it's just like, but why? So then why are the Republicans lying? Because they're trying to get votes. They're trying to get votes, and it's just this weird like game. Like both of them play like we're against guns, and so we're going to get all the people who are against guns to vote for us. Or if the people are for guns, they're gonna take away your guns. You got to get up and vote. You got to motivate, and it's like this motivational tactic instead of just saying, "Hey, the Democrat or Obama hasn't really said anything about guns, and so the gun lobbyists can all calm down." And then gun sales go through the roof because if the Republicans come out and say, "Hey, they're going to take your guns away," everyone's going to go, "I got to go get a gun now."
Okay. I agree partly with you, but the part where we disagree is the Democrats. They do want to take our guns away. That they want to, but they legally they can't because we have the Second Amendment. They have to. They would have to, or they would
Well,
have
there's
to.
some Democrats, yes, but not all Democrats want to take your guns away.
No,
And that's
I know that. I know
I know,
that.
I know, but that's the talk that this show brings up. It's that
Well, of
it's
course.
that the Democrats want to take your guns away. But it's like, well,
But people need to
sign?
understand.
Well, yeah, but
People
like,
need to understand that yes, they do. They do. The reason why, but they regulate it heavily, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't be regulating as much as they're. California, dude. It took like my buddy Jake. He needed to get, or he wanted to get his CCW. It took him months. There's no reason why it should take you months. Texas, Arizona, I think you can get it within like weeks, and that's how it
okay,
should be. Why? Because we have we have our Second Amendment.
but they're
So
not stopping you. They're just making it take longer. So
no, I
what's
know they can't legally stop you. That's what I'm saying. If they could legally stop you, they would. If they legally could stop everyone from having a weapon, or a firearm, they would. They would be
who's they?
complete. The Democrats.
All of them?
Not all of them.
I don't
Not all of them.
understand.
Not all of them. Most of them, though. Most of them.
But
Like
you don't think that's like Republican rhetoric? That's just they're gonna take it away. They're coming after you.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But all I'm
But like,
saying is,
what law did Obama try to get passed? I don't know this. I'm just asking a question. Like, we don't know. Like,
no,
me and you don't know
I don't know.
anything he's trying to do. So instead of saying Democrats are trying to take away all of our guns, you can't say that because yes, there are. I heard Biden come out and say they don't want people having a certain type of gun, and I forget what type of gun. I've heard that he's the only one that's come out and said.
Beto O'Rourke said the same thing.
I can't remember, but like he's the only one that's like in a serious, like when he was running for president. I've never heard Obama say, "I want to take away your guns." Maybe like regulate them where you can't just walk into Walmart and leave on the same day. A background checks, like more in depth. And I'm for, let's look into people more. Do you need like in my head? I'm thinking unless you're a rancher, you don't need a gun immediately. In my head, any kind of sporadic reason that I can think about someone needing a gun for is maybe the only thing I can think of is like say the world is ending and there's riots everywhere and everywhere.
Also protecting your house.
not just a
as
few.
well.
Well, yeah, but there's no immediate threat. There's no.
Well, and that's
You
where the
never know when it's going to be, so you want it as
yeah.
quickly as possible. But you also want to make sure that this person that doesn't have any mental issues,
Well,
anything,
yeah,
anything like that.
that's
So
what we have. We also have background checks.
yeah, that's fine, but I don't know how in depth they are. So
They're in depth.
if certain people say, hey, they're not in depth enough, I always like a balance. I want people saying that I I maybe saying that they're fine and they're good the way they are, or there's people say, hey, we need probably a little more time to check these people out. I mean, I don't know the background system that they use, so I don't know, go either way. But when people talk about two sides, I don't think that because I heard that Democrats, Obama wants to take away all your guns, all your guns, all your guns, and they
Yeah,
bring up all this
that's
legislation that he passed for Americans to keep their guns. So it's the same thing with how people shit on Trump and say he doesn't do anything for African American people, and then he signed that one deal for historically black colleges to give them money for a decade, and no other president has done that, not even Obama.
yeah, yeah,
So
no.
I'm just like,
That one. Oof. Well, no.
so
So
so you can
what it
use both
is
things, and people are
well,
like,
yeah, of
oh,
course.
he's against this, and then you go into the legislation and see, oh wait, he signed all these bills that are
But
apparently
here's the
help
thing.
out that group.
So Obama, what the only thing that Obama did is keep the regulations how they are, very strict. I mean, obviously
But they're not
there's
all
still
strict though.
states. Yeah, they're
They're not
certain,
all strict. Yeah.
and
So
that's what's funny how there's like it doesn't matter what law is like passed, it's still up to the governors. I mean, it's really weird how that works.
states, they have their own state law. You can't have. I mean, obviously there's federal law,
Yeah. So yeah, if
but
it's federal law, they have to abide by it. But so it's just funny how, but
well, just
but
in
so
their
he didn't
state. So
really.
like if it goes from states, like the only thing I can think of is like drugs. So if you transfer drugs across state line, then it's a federal offense. But if you have it in your own state, then it can just be at
A
least
misdemeanor.
as far as I understand. Well, no, depending on your state, if your state's legalized it, it's fine. Which is weird because
No, there's like a certain only if you only have a certain amount, it's
well,
a
yeah, there's certain
misdemeanor.
obviously you can't have
Like
hundreds of pounds of whatever. That's
what the fuck?
I don't think so. What the fuck? What?
No, like what the like if you can have a certain amount of cocaine, or like and it's only a misdemeanor. And I'm like you can even like there are certain police who can just write you citations for that and let you go. I'm like what the I'm like I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought if you have any amount of cocaine, you get fucking booked, and it's you're fucked.
Booked. I like the way he said booked. Like a 1950s detect. We're gonna book you.
But okay, back to what the problem is. What the problem is the fact that we have most Democrats who want to take your guns away. That's the problem. There should be no one who wants that. No one. That's what the problem is. And they keep putting more regulations on, more and more and more. And now that the Democrats have the seat, have the Senate, the majority Senate, House, and the presidency, I guarantee you there's going to be more regulations. I know already.
But like, what regulations are you talking about? Like more, like longer background checks?
No, no. In
I
California,
don't know what the regulations are.
I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
In California, you have to you purchase a weapon, you have to wait 10 days in
Okay.
order to pick it up. Okay, sure, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
You're arguing about 10 days?
They're gonna make yes. Like it's my Second Amendment. It's my Second Amendment
Okay,
right. If I want to purchase a firearm, I should be able to purchase it like a day later, maybe two. But I guarantee. And then they just I think it was last year. I'm not sure if it was lifted. I can't remember. But they put what was it? They put some sort of regulation on ammunition in California. And it like I
Okay.
think oh yeah that's right. You had to do a background check for ammunition. Like oh, Jesus Christ! So you got to do a background check on ammunition, background check on your like, that's fine, that on like obviously, but and then you have to wait months and months to get your CCW, and then they're
And
just
then
gonna
why did he have to wait months for when you just told me that you can get it in 10 days? He lives in California,
no
right?
no 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 your concealed weapon because he can your CCW is your where you can carry it on your person. It's your concealed weapon.
Oh, see, I don't even know. I thought that was some kind of gun name, CCW P40 or whatever. I don't know what a
Yeah,
CCW
concealed
is.
carry weapon or
I'm
whatever.
not a police officer, so I don't know what it's. Sorry, I don't know CCW. I don't know what that is.
But see that's why you need to know your
Well,
rights.
I'm asking a question. I
No,
don't know these
I'm
things.
telling
Yeah,
you,
I'm
I'm
not
telling you.
saying one person is right, one person is
But
wrong.
no, just getting
But to me, 10 days
purchasing a
isn't that
firearm.
big of a deal. 10 days isn't. But to me,
But
if I had to
but
get a gun and I had to wait, a week, I
what
don't know if we're all in this Amazon 2-day shipping, a day later, I want my stuff kind of mentality. But if I go get a weapon that can kill people, like a lot of people, I want, as long if the background check can be cleared in a day and they just wait 10 days for some arbitrary reason, then yes, that's wrong. I don't know what the 10-day thing is. Like with computers and the internet, shouldn't you be able to do a background check in a day? Like what takes it so long?
yeah.
It's not like they're mailing it to a department and then the department gets that request and then has to go through all these pages and look up, someone's background. It's just a type in somebody's name, their social security number, and then are they a felon? Have they had any assault?
They,
Yeah.
they they say
So I'm
that
just
they say
wondering,
that
it's a
they
cool
say
off
that
period
it's
or something?
no, they say that the 10 days is to make it to where people who want to do harm, they think about it first. It makes them think about it. I'm like, 10 days, shorten it to 5 days. I guarantee you, in 5 days, people usually only stay. I mean, I don't know,
That's
but
what I'm
then you.
saying. Yeah, but maybe that's a good thing. Like,
But what about Texas, where you don't have to wait that long?
okay,
And
well,
they
obviously
don't have
they're
mass
more.
shootings all over the place like that. So it doesn't make any sense. There's areas where it proves, like Arizona and Texas, where you don't need that. You don't need that. And the problem is like I said, they do want to take your guns away. Them wanting that is a problem. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what that's a problem, and that should be a red flag for anyone who is for your own rights. Like all these idiots are sitting here, oh, my rights, this, that. I want more rights. I want all my rights. This and blah 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 blah. But then they vote for people who want to take their part of their rights away. Just make it. Well, I mean, it's just people
Well,
who I
some
don't know.
people don't have that. They're very like usually the left. This cat is playing with this toy. It's driving me insane. The left leaning people are very anti-gun. We don't need. What do we need them? This is in today's society. But then
Yet they have armed security.
but no, I'm not saying I'm saying just normal people. But then when the BLM protests and riots broke out and they were burning cities down all over the country, it was like $3 billion in damages or whatever. All of those people wanted guns. They're like, hey, where can I go get a gun now? Where can I go? So like there are instances where you do need, like, you have that instinctual, I have to protect my house, I have to protect my family, kind of that I don't know, that primal feeling. Like I don't, I maybe agree with something that these people are doing on one end, but they're taking it to a completely different extreme that I don't agree with, and that scares me. And so I need a weapon to protect myself. And that's what's funny. It's like, what are you going to protect from the government? Because the government has missiles. It's like, no, we're protecting against people that come in and take our shit. That's what people are, criminals.
Criminal. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. There was one. Person I saw. They were talking about, well, then learn self-defense. Learn like hand-to-hand. Yeah, hand-to-hand. I'm like, well, first of all, they could have a knife, a gun, the criminals coming into your house, whatever, but that's besides the point. There was a UFC fighter, a man who was like all hopped up on coke, came into his house to rob his place. The UFC fighter did not have a gun. The UFC fighter, the man who fights he's one of the, he's a heavyweight. I think he was a light heavyweight. He's 234, walking around 240 pounds. One of the baddest men on the planet. Said it was the toughest fight he'd ever been in his life. It was him and his wife and his kids were upstairs, and he was protecting against this guy. He had no idea what this guy was going to do, but he said this guy was on he couldn't do, like, he was hitting him with shots. He said that would put down all of his sparring partners. Like, he said this guy had no idea how to fight, and it was still the hardest fight in his life. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
the most difficult. I was like,
there are
so if he had a gun, boom, boom, he's dead. He's not a problem anymore.
in his head.
Yeah, like you come in
there's
somebody's house, like give them a like, get out of the house right now. Get out of the house, whatever you're doing. And if they make any other move towards the door, they're getting shot. That's just my opinion.
That's not an opinion. That's a fact. I don't care
because there's people who are like, well, they've had a bad life. They're on drugs.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
That's why you don't just like, cops don't just shoot everyone doing illegal things. You want them to.
The only reason why they can't do that is because they have laws against. They have rules that the police have to follow, or else.
I know that, but like in a society where it's like, but if they're in your house, they've already breached that, and I think you should have the right to shoot them. But then in my head, I'm thinking, well, if I was a smart murderer, I would just kill you and bring you into my house. Because that's what they were doing. I heard stories like in the Old West. If anyone comes on your land, you can shoot him. That was the law. But then people were just murdering their neighbor and bringing them onto their land, and then buying their land and take. So it was like this weird, like I don't know, workaround to getting what you want. So you can't obviously have. There's I don't know. People when you have a law and then people take advantage of it, and you're like, oh, okay, well then we need to kind of massage that and change it a little bit. So if,
But no,
yeah,
there's countless police reports where people be hooked up on meth or coke, and they'll shoot them in the chest, and they'll keep going. They have to shoot them in the head.
No, it makes me want to try coke. It makes me. I become a superhuman. Hold on, Corey's calling me. Let me see what she wants. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm on the podcast with Ray. What do you want?
Oh well, I thought we were gonna go to that meat market.
Oh well, yeah, I'll give you a meat market. We got 47. We're about 10 minutes to go.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, is that enough for you, princess?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure you get everything you want all the time.
You're so great.
I know I am. Possibly the best boyfriend.
Hi, Ray.
Hi.
He says hello.
Have fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
She wants to go to the meat market, Ray. You wanna take her? We're gonna go. I guess we're gonna go get. She actually likes you for some strange reason. I don't know why. I think it's just because she's mentally ill.
Yeah, I know. That's what man. Like
it's all the other girls that don't like you. All the other girls. They sense this weird thing of desperation from you, like of wanting to be liked, which is not a bad thing to have. But if people are,
I don't even do that.
If people, why'd you yell? That was an emotional outburst.
There was actually. Hold on. There was something I just saw. It says now I don't know how to treat it, but it says.
What'd you see?
CD Projekt Red under investigation by Polish authorities over botched Cyberpunk 2077 launch.
Yeah, they're saying that because they made these promises. I read that.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of the news things if we needed time to talk about it.
Maybe fined 10% of income. That's weird.
That is the legal fines, because I think in their laws, if you promise something, or and then you come out and I don't know, don't deliver on it, then they can fine you. It's like the false advertising laws, I guess, are more strict over there, I guess.
But anyways, let's wrap it up.
That's right. What's that crinkling? What's that crinkling?
I heard that too. I don't think it was on mine.
I don't know what it was.
I have any. Anyways.
I don't know. Okay, well, this has been the Video Games and Nonsense podcast for Monday, January 11th. I forgot to even say the date at the very beginning. That's terrible. But now you know. Now you know what day it is. I'm one of your hosts, Chase Carter, and this is
Raymond Woods.
And we appreciate you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
I remember